Homes.com or call 858-880-4577. Nagraj Annaiah, selling homes smarter, faster, and for more.
Hello everyone, I'm Nagraj Annaiah, your trusted Bay Area Realtor. Today, I'm joined by Ashima Dugal, an experienced immigration attorney. We are here to discuss everything related to the Bay Area real estate and immigration. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call at our studio line numbers 408-912-5038. Hi Ashima, welcome to the show.
Hello, Nagaraj. Hello, audience.
Listeners, if you have any questions on the immigration and if you have anything on the Bay Area real estate, this is a time we are live from a Bali 92.3 and our studio line numbers of 408-912-5038. So Ashima, my first question is, how is the layoffs going on in the Bay Area? Right, like there's a lot of discussions happening on the layoffs. Is it better than 2023 or like is it worse than 2023 until now?
So far, we're around 56,000 US tech companies have laid off workers. And so that is a little better. It may not seem like it. It's a tough job market. But in all of 2023, it was almost 200,000. So it's June, it's middle of the year, and we're at 56,000.
Okay, so this is what the numbers I have, right? Like the week ended on June 2024, at least 1,699 US tech sectors employees were laid off per a Crunch-based news tally, right? And as you said, more than 191,000 workers in US-based companies were laid off in 2023 alone.
That's right. That's right. So it is better this year, some stability, but it hasn't stopped. Like you said, just this past week, 1,699 US tech sector employees were laid off. So it is continuing. And what I see in my immigration practice week after week, I have calls from people who are in the last 2 weeks of the grace period and they haven't found a job. They didn't get the job offer they thought they were going to get. They get really nervous, scared, anxious. What do we do? What do we do? And then I start advising them that we have to act fast. We have to change your status in the US before your grace period ends. They should be getting a 60-day grace when they get laid off.
Correct. So this is like in 2022 was just 93,000 job losses, right? Like it is like, as you compare it is getting, 2023 was worse, but 2024 is a little bit better. Hopefully crossing our fingers, like it's better than 2024. A lot of people are talking about the AI job losses, but I think we are not still seeing that impact as of now because AI still is not kind of completely mature, but people are, what I always feel, AI is a fast train which keeps moving very fast. On every tech, people needs to upgrade their skill sets. That's what I noticed. That listeners, if you are one of them got impacted by the recent job layoffs, and you would like to share something, and how are your job hunts are going on, and you got scared about any job losses, you might be right. Like you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers of 408-912-5038. Myself, Nagraj Annaiah, the Bay Area Realtor, talking to Ashima Dugal on both on the immigration and the Bay Area real estate. So one thing, you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers of 408-912-5038. I think so, Ashima. One more thing I need to talk about is what is the perm labor certification? Because I heard like a lot of companies like Amazon have slowed down on the perm. So what to do about that?
That's right. So from what I hear from callers is that their companies have paused their perm process, or they're not going to pursue a new perm case in the next year or two, or at least the first 6 months. And so Amazon is one, maybe other companies, Google, others. So perm labor certification is the process that most people, including Indians here on an H-1B visa, use to get a green card. It is the sponsorship by the company. So if the company is not doing that anymore, then you have to find another way to get your green card.
Okay. Listeners, one of them got impacted recently because of the perm labor certification, right? You can give us a call, and we are talking about the alternatives. If one of them, if the perm is not filed, what do you do? Because perm is very, as Ashima mentioned, perm is very important step on the H1B, important step to get your green card. But a lot of folks like once they get into H1B, they don't even ask their companies to file for a perm, right, Ashima? They sit back, relax. Let's wait for 6 years, then figure it out. So don't do that. Like find out the way how you can file for a perm. If the perm is not working, what is the other alternatives? That's what we are going to discuss today. If you have any questions on the immigration front and the Bay Area real estate, myself Nagraj Annaiah, the Bay Area Realtor, talking to Ashima Dugal on the anything on the Bay Area real estate on the immigration. Our studio line numbers are 408-912-5038. So what are the alternatives? Like if the perm is not filed, right? What are the alternatives we have then?
Sure, sure. So in the employment-based process, you have three main ways. The first option is EB-1A, Extraordinary Ability. It's a self-petition, so you don't need a company sponsor. You don't even need a job offer. You can be unemployed and file this case.
Okay.
Number two is EB-2 National Interest Waiver, or NIW. That is another kind of self-petition, and you do not need a job offer, but you have to show that you can help the United States through your work, and you have to have a plan to do something related to your work, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, the third one has nothing to do with your work, but it's your investment, EB-5. You can invest in a regional center upwards of close to $1 million, a little more than $1 million, and get your green card that way. And in my office, we are doing all three kinds. We are doing more EB-1As and NIWs for Indian nationals than ever before because of the layoffs and because of perm sponsorship being stopped.
Okay. So the three things are, listeners, the three ways to, I think this can be said as in a three ways to get your green card faster also, right? Like EB-1A, NIW, it's a national interest waiver. Is that correct, Ashima?
Yeah, and EB-5. So I would say EB-1A and EB-5 are faster.
Okay.
EB-2 NIW is generally the same as in terms of, timeline for as a perm-based EB-2. It's still the second preference category, but the advantage of NIW is that you're not dependent on any company during your time in the US. It is not sponsorship by a company, it's a self-petition. So you control your future, you control the green card process.
Okay, this can be said as the three ways to get a green card faster without an employer also, right? Like you don't need
Correct.
any employer. Listen, see, this is what you need to understand, right? Like whatever we are discussing is about how do you get a green card faster without an employer? Basically, I think we can touch upon each on all the three things. Like one is the EB-1A, EB-2 NIW. That can be a third option. The second option is second is a EB-2, right? Sorry,
EB-2 NIW.
NIW, and the third is a EB-5. EB-5 is like where you have a $1 million and you can basically invest in some of the, basically you are showing it as you're investing in some business opportunities, right? Ashim, EB-5.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So EB-1, just easy to remember, EB-1, EB-2, and EB-5. These are the three options. We'll be touching upon each of the three stuffs, like how does that work. So if you have any questions, you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 408-912-5038. Myself, Nagraj Annaiah, the Bay Area Realtor, talking to Ashima on the immigration, and I'll be giving out the three listings which is coming soon, and I have one listing open house for tomorrow also, which I'll be talking out shortly. But if you have any questions on the immigration or a Bay Area real estate, give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 408-912-5038. And before even discussing on the each one, EB-1A, EB-2, EB-5, right? Like let's talk about a lot of people recently. I'm noticing they're switching to B2 visa.
That's right. That's correct.
And if you're lost a job, is it a good idea to do a B2 visa? Like basically looking for a jobs in a B2 visa.
Sure, sure. That is a great question, Nagaraj, and I get that question in my office frequently. So the B2 is you have a B2 visa, like the stamp in your passport, and then you have the B2 status. So if you,
We have a one
I
caller.
think we
Let's take
have
it.
one caller. Mhm.
Yeah, welcome to the Real Estate Show. Myself, Nagraj Annaiah. Hi, please go ahead with your question. Your name, please.
Hi, my name is Dipesh.
Uh-huh.
I have one question. I filed my wife's petition from like 2 years ago, but still it's showing in the review. It's still in the showing in the it's in the review. So, what we can do for it? If I want to expedite that her file, so what I have to do for that one?
Okay, so you filed a marriage petition, correct? You're sponsoring your
Yes,
wife for a green card? Okay.
yes,
I
yes.
mean, you can contact your congressman. You can do an inquiry with USCIS through their online system.
Okay.
Usually the most effective way is contacting your US congressman. I would go with your House of Representative. And they will likely have a immigration liaison officer that you can talk
Okay.
to, and they can help you.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling in, and best of luck for your wife's petition. So I think you well said on contacting to the Congress. Listeners, if you have any questions on the Bay Area real estate and immigration, do give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 408-912-5038. So we are discussing about the immigration and the Bay Area real estate. So you said very well on that, contacting the congressman. I think a lot of listeners, a lot of people doesn't know why it's so important, not only on the immigration front. Recently, why I wanted to touch upon that, right? Recently, one of my client who had bought a house in San Jose, but they got a notice from the city saying some violations of the tree violations, 4 years back violation now. And city asked them to pay a $2,500 violation fees. But they contacted the congressman, and congressman was able to raise these issues, and they were able to reduce the fees. So a lot of unjust stays, or you think something is going wrong, always talk to your congressman. You should be, they can help you out with some solutions. I think one, what Ashima said about the petition stuffs, because they can raise, where do they raise all these questions, Ashima?
Yeah. If you are a US citizen, especially, but even if you're not, they might still be able to help you. And so that is their job to help advocate for their constituents in their district. So it's always a good idea if you want to talk about what you're talking about, the violations, anything you're experiencing, tax issue, you need to, and immigration service that's long delayed, 2 years is very long, like that caller called. They should be able to help you. There's an immigration liaison officer in the congressional office.
Yeah, listeners, just note for that. Like, if you have any questions, like basically, if you are noticing some injustice or something in your community, reach out to your congressman, and they might be able to help you out. Always talk to the city also first. If you think you don't get a better answers from them, always go reach out to your congressmen. They might also help you out. So don't always think there is no solution. These are the solutions which we can basically, all solutions can be figured out when you talk to the right people. But whom to contact? Maybe start with the congressmen. So if you have any questions on the Bay Area real estate or immigration, I'm talking to Ashima Dugal, myself, Nagraj Annaiah. I'm talking about the lot of immigration and the Bay Area real estate. If you have any questions too, you can share, give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 408-912-5038. So going back to the B2 visa, is it a good idea for looking for a jobs in a B2 visa once you've lost the job?
Sure. So if you are having a tough time finding a job and you are near the end of your 60-day grace, it is a very good option to apply to change your status from H-1B to B2. Now, maybe you're on an L1 work or a TN or something else, you can still change it. You can change your status from whatever you're in to B2. just as long as you submit the case in your grace period. And when you do that, you get another 6 months in the US to keep looking for a job. And your status becomes, B2 pending. And when you do find that job, maybe 2-3 months later, you can then apply to change your status back to H-1B.
Okay. Okay. So basically, one more question going back, taking a step back, right? Like, should we be prepared early itself? For example, you're on H1B. Should I file for an B2 early itself? Is it a good idea for that way? So that way, like anytime the job loss happens, you have a backup of this visa, B2 visa.
The timing is important. First of all, this new rule of a grace period is about 4 or 5 years old, maybe. And before then, there was no rule. So someone who lost their job, they had to immediately just depart. It was really stressful and really unfair. And I would say that 60 days is not enough time.
Yeah, I totally agree. Recently,
Yes.
one of my client had lost a job. There was a Cisco layoffs happening, and he lost a job. Ashima. He had
Yes.
a house in Livermore, and it was for him. I think they gave them company gave them 2 months to find a job, and later was a 2 months for a grace period. Even with the 4 months, he was not able to find a job. So
Yeah, so he was given a notice period and then the grace period. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not enough time in any job market, but especially in this current job market where there's so much competition. So 2 months is not enough time. If you wanted to leave the US, like you wanted to not look for a job, it's not enough time. If you own a house, you have to sell it, or get out of your lease and get, how it's you have so much to do to wrap up your affairs. So 60 days is not enough. So but I do have some callers by day 40 or by day 50. They have a job offer, but it's not enough time left to do a fast H-1B. And H-1B usually takes most law firms minimum 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Now, but I just had a call with a caller this morning. He was laid off, and he had a job offer from a big company in finance. Now, now his law firm is a big global corporate immigration firm, and they said that they would need at least 50 days, 50, to file his H-1B.
50 days to file for H1B?
Yeah, and it can be done in 7 days if they really wanted to. So, and he even informed them that, look, I have a grace period ending on July 9th. Can you please submit it in 2 weeks? And they said, we'll try. So this now client is in a really tough situation because he doesn't want to file a B2 because he already has a job offer, but he cannot go out of status either because then he cannot do the H-1B transfer. So we are in a waiting game. I told him to contact me July 1st. If the law firm has not filed an LCA, labor condition application, you go ahead and proceed with the B2. And he'll hire me to do it. So that's the answer to your question about timing. You have 60 days. By day 40, if you don't have a job offer, you should just go ahead and process that B2 change of status.
Okay. Listeners, myself, Nagraj Annaiah, the Bay Area Realtor. I'm talking to Ashima Dugal on the immigration, and we're discussing with the Bay Area real estate also. If you have any questions, we have a few more minutes left. You can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 408-912-5038. So I think one thing is very important, right? Like, for example, once you lost a job, not only we are talking about finding a job, I think the second thing is we need to discuss about what do they do for the current home, what they already bought. What I can suggest them is like basically look for a tenant, basically try to rent out, figure out within how many days you need to be leaving a country if you can't find a job. Because the client I was talking to him, he said, Nagraj, I don't want to file for a B1, B2. I want to go back and later go to a Canada route and come back here after 2 years. So what he did is like basically started looking for a tenants around. He started listing. We have one caller. Let's take it up. Welcome to the Real Estate Show. Myself, Nagraj Annaiah. Name, please.
Hi, this is Jaya. I had a question. So I'm currently working here on H-1B, and I wanted to know if there is any way we can. My mom is in India and she visits me on P2 visa, but is there any way I can get her permanently in United States?
You can get her residency in United States. Is that the question? Your mother?
Yeah.
Well, and I would say that you have to first become a U.S. citizen to sponsor your mother. Unfortunately, if your mother has her own ways, including EB-1A and IW, EB-5 through an investment, those are the only options. If you have any siblings who are U.S. citizens, they can also sponsor your mother.
I think I found one more creative way. I think what you can do is you can tell your mom to find some job, or she can apply for even for college degrees, right? Ashima, recently one of my clients reached out from Bangalore saying that his son is moving to you for studies, and she was saying, I also want to move for you some studies already. Maybe if she's educated, maybe she can find that route also.
Yes.
And thank you.
Okay.
And thank you and best of luck. We have two more callers. Welcome to the Real Estate Show. Hi, you're on air. Welcome to the Real Estate Show.
Hi, I'm Vinay. I have a question regarding immigration.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Even A category.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
So for EB1A category, there are like 10 categories. I mean, there are 10 out of 10, right? So how many is better to have, or better to have how many categories covered? In the sense, legally they say 3 of them, but is 3 enough, or do you recommend to have more than 3?
So Vinay, that's a
Ashima, we have just 2 minutes. Your answer should be quick so that if any follow-up, they can call you up.
3 is minimum, but you gotta aim for more. 5, 6, 7. It's quality though over quantity. If you have 3 really strong, that's all you need. So call my office 650-569-0333 and we'll schedule a call.
And do call Ashima, and I think tell my name, and you should be getting a lot of, I think you should get discount code, and schedule it and see how you can build your case. EB1A is always building about your case and trusting yourself. That's very important on the EB1A. Trust, time, and contacting the right attorney. And thank you and best of luck for calling in. We have one more call. Yeah. Welcome to the Real Estate Show. Hi, welcome to the Real Estate. Yeah, please go ahead with your question. Please make it short.
Yeah. My name is Lachireddy. I calling from Dublin.
Yeah, Lachireddy. Go ahead, please go with the question.
Yeah, my question is related to attorney Dugal actually.
Yes.
Me and my wife both are in H1B, and I am in I-140. My N is completed, but my priority date is 2016. And my wife is on H1, and she has yet to start the POM process. And she almost completed 3 years on her H1. And the firm is now starting her.
Sorry, Lachireddy. We have only 50 seconds left. You can call Ashima after this show, and you can talk to her directly on this. Our numbers are 650-569-0333. You can call her directly and you can talk to her. Sorry, we have only 30 seconds in the show.
Oh, okay. Can you give the number again?
650-569-0333. Call her directly. Listeners, thank you so much for calling in. And so if you have any questions on Bay Area real estate, right, you can go directly to nagrajhome.com and click on a WhatsApp icon. And all these recordings will be uploaded in my YouTube channel, Nagraj Annaiah. So you can listen to this and you can contact to Ashima also. Our contact number is dugallaw.com. And I have 2 listings, one in San Jose and one in Fremont. This week is a listing in Fremont. Go to the nagrajhomes.com for more information. And thank you and best of luck.